The sun is out, the sky is blue, the wind is blowing. Hopefully it isn't degrading audio quality. Anyway, I'm going to be answering 10 of the most asked amateur radio questions, and I hope you enjoy.
What does 73 mean? So 73 is basically the universal way that amateur radio operators say, have a good day, or thanks for the contact, I'll catch you later. It stems back from history, when radio operators used to do CW or Morse code. 73 was the way of saying goodbye, have a great day. That's what 73 means. It just means thank you, catch you later. All right, next question. Do I need a license to use ham radio? Yes. In order to use the frequencies for ham radio, you must get a license, and this is all dependent on the country you're in. So in Australia, where I am, you have to get a license by doing an exam, a theory and a practical exam. For one of the 3 license levels, you've got Foundation, Standard, and Advanced. They all have different abilities you're able to do. But yes, you need a license. Once you get your license, you're able to get a call sign. That leads into our next question. What is a call sign? So call signs are a unique identifier for your station that you operate. Having a call sign allows you to identify that person. And the way the call signs are laid out have meaning too. So like VK1, ABC. The VK stands for Australia. 1 is the state or the area, and then the last 3 digits are just whatever you'd like. So they do have meaning. So the VK, yeah, obviously it's Australia. The 1 stands for ACT, and then, yeah, the unique set of letters after that. And in Australia, you've got VK 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. They all stand for the different states. All right, next question. What is the best band for beginners? Now, the best band is probably 40 meters or 7 megahertz. The reason I say this is because not only is it included in the Foundation license here in Australia, but it is one of the more common modes, or no, not common modes, the most common band in Australia for talking locally, and then at night with distance, get a bit of DX. So it's a good all-around band for newbies. That just works 24 hours a day.
CQVK VK5 Charlie Zulu.
Second band I would recommend is 15 meters if you're a Foundation license level. And yeah, those are the 2 bands that I would recommend for Foundation levels. If you're not a Foundation and you're a Standard, or the answer to that one is 20 meters. 20 meters all the way. All right, next question. What antenna should I start with? Now, this is a very controversial question, as there is no correct answer. But if it was me and I had to start my journey all over again, I would go for the JPC-12 antenna or the Mad Dog coil vertical antenna. Those would be my 2 go-to antennas. They just work and they're amazing. All right, next question. What is SWR? Now, the SWR stands for standing wave ratio. It's pretty much the measure of how well your antenna matches to your radio's frequency you're on. Because when you're trying to transmit on a certain frequency, it expects a... this is a hard thing to explain, but it expects a certain length / inductance or resistance on the antenna in order for it to radiate that radio electric energy off the antenna. Pretty much a high SWR is you need to have a low SWR or else you will damage your radio. And in order to do that you could do that by tuning your radio properly with the length of the antenna. What is propagation? Now, propagation is the ability to bounce radio signals around the world. Now, propagation is a good thing propagation exists because we have an atmosphere. The atmosphere ionizes during the day, and as the atmosphere ionizes, it encourages signals to bounce off them. So depending on how much the ionosphere is energized and excited is how well your radio signals bounce off them. And things that affect it are solar activity, time of day, band frequencies. So if you're on the 15 meter band, 40 meter band, 20 meter band, it all changes how well things propagate, especially during, what time of day it is and what the solar activity is doing. So it is, whether you get to the other side of the world or is all dependent on propagation. What is QRP versus QRO? Okay, QRP is a low power, so if you're going to do a QRP activation, you're going out to the bush and you're doing an activation with low amounts of power, generally from 5 to 10 watts. And then you can also do QRO, which is the opposite of that, which is using high amounts of power, generally 100 watts plus. Why would you do that? Bit of a challenge, why not? Especially with QRP. QRO is not a challenge, QRP is. What modes can ham radio users use? There are many modes, but the most popular modes there are is SSB, CW, SSTV, FT8. What are they? SSB is pretty much just AM, but one side of it. CW is Morse code, so beep, 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 beep. FT8 is a digital mode that allows for computers to send signals over the radio waves, and then other computers can pick up the signals from around the world and decode it, and then they can send their own signals back. It's just communication digitally via radio. And then SSTV is a way you're able to send images over radio waves. So it sounds awful. But yeah, that's the type of signal you're able to decode and get an image, and you can respond with another image. It's a cool little mode. Finally, what is a repeater? Now, just imagine you're on top of a mountain with a radio. What a repeater does is it pretty much, you receive a signal and then it repeats it. So if you were the repeater, you would hear someone say ABC, and since you're at the top of the mountain, you hear them, you'd just retransmit ABC. Well, since repeaters are not human, they automatically receive your signal and then they retransmit it. The reason we would use a repeater is because generally they're nice and high, they have a lot more power, they just extend the range of people's ability to talk in a local area. So instead of being more of a line of sight, it's you can see at the top of the mountain, can generally see a city, and it's able to, a repeater can be accessed by an entire city if it's on top of a mountain. They are very useful for extending the range. All right, we've got a bonus question here. What is the furthest distance I've talked the other side of the world? Italy. Yeah, about 16,000 kilometers across the world is how far I've talked. All right, well, that's all the questions I've got for today. If you do have any other questions, feel free to shove them in the comments down below. I'm gonna try and get some rest now as I am still deathly ill. Goodbye. Please subscribe.